the many diverse First Nations and Métis people who have walked this land since time immemorial. We are grateful to work, live, and learn on the traditional territory of Treaty 8. And with that, we'll go to our agenda. Do have one addition to the agenda, which is 8.4, the old hospital site. Is there anything else?
Yes. Business arising from the minutes. I'd like to backtrack on that. I want to bring up the letter from the High Prairie School Division. And there was supposed to be a public delegation. Would have liked to have come in and spoke with us tonight, but didn't think they could make the 6 o'clock meeting. So I'm wondering if, should the delegation show up later, would it be okay to put the delegation in later in the agenda? Quick enough.
Yeah, just 5 minutes, right? That's what they would have.
Yeah.
They're not a scheduled
Yeah.
delegation.
Yeah.
It's a public delegation, not a scheduled delegation.
Correct, yes.
All right. So we have an additional 6.3, which is the school board, school division.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody want to move with the changes? As a vote.
What school board that, what school board that is that?
This was coming out of last meeting minutes, it's business arising, so it'll be 6.3.
Can you use your mic, please? Thank you.
All right, we have a motion with those 2 changes, all in favor? Carried. Moving on then, no scheduled or public delegations here, we will get a public delegation and speak for 5 minutes after. We'll move right to our peace officers report. Can we add a motion on this one? Councilor Stenos?
The council received the senior peace officer December 2023 report for information.
All right, and with that, I'll turn it over to our peace officer.
Evening, council. Presenting December 2023 peace officer report. Nothing out of the ordinary. Picked up one dog and issued 6 dog tickets. I'm open to any questions council might have.
Okay, Councilor Stenos?
Thank you, Peace Officer Bloom. So I'm just inquiring, I appreciate your stats that you put out.
Yep.
And I know I questioned you before on what the provincial tickets are, and you see if there's usually motor vehicle, there's traffic and anything motor vehicle involved. So I'm just wondering, like for general crime, it's being listed, like any, for example, like break-ins, graffiti. Is there a category where that falls under, or categorized somewhere? Or do you even deal with that kind of stuff?
Our involvement with crime is basically, we see it, we call it. We can't investigate it, we can't get involved on active stuff. We have to be in the company of the RCMP.
So, but is there any way that this could show up on your report, the crime stats? It's for more awareness
Yep,
of,
yep.
you know, what's being targeted and, you know, what's happening.
Yeah, I can include, trespassing, stuff like that.
Great, thank you.
Good.
Just remind, if I could, through the chair, the RCMP does have an interactive site that lists all crime activities within the community, and I think that would be the appropriate place to search for that information.
Cause it would list it all in one spot versus
Right.
a little bit here and some more over there.
Well, what I'm referring to is what our bylaw officers deal with. You know, because we have everything listed, what our bylaw officers deal with. So if they are dealing with those issues,
With the RCMP or something.
pardon me?
RCMP assists whether it's.
Yeah, and well, to make, again, more awareness of what's going on in the community.
I would still request that the senior police officer myself will review the provincial regulations in terms of the authority of the police officer. It may not be appropriate that we report on that at all.
Yeah, we'll check into that.
Okay, great, thanks.
Okay, anyone else? Councilor Martins?
Good evening, Alan, from Online World. I know we mentioned, a dog. A couple of weeks ago, we received a letter from a ratepayer by. I'm wondering if that's the incident you're referring to, or whatever happened with that. I don't know both sides of the story. I'm sure all of council received that. There was a petition from this ratepayer, saying that she would abide by certain rules. You know, whatever happened, was that dog matter, or are you talking about something different?
The one in my report would be one different. The one you're speaking of will be in my January report, but it was dealt with under the animal control bylaw. She had conditions to meet before the release of the animal. So that's where it's at. But it'll be in my January report.
So has the animal come back into her possession or not yet? Or not at all?
Yes, it has.
Thank you.
Okay.
As well, I can't see if you're sitting with another gentleman, but.
That's coming, yeah, that's coming.
But it's coming, yeah. Oh, she froze up. Okay, anything else? I had a question that I'm just wondering about. I noticed that there was a big increase in provincial fines compared to 2022. What was the big impetus behind that?
More patrol, active patrol.
That was with the second peace officer coming back, and that was just more patrols?
Yeah.
And so I guess it leads then to the next question, as we had less municipal warnings given out. I'm just wondering why we had less warnings than 2022, like half the amount of warnings.
Unless that was another clerical error or typing error. I'll have to check on that, but I could have been. The dog licensing warnings probably weren't included. So I'll have to just review that. I'll check on it.
Okay. Thank you. I think that's all, but perhaps you wanted to introduce or?
Yes. Would you come on up, David? This is David Brooks. He is our new starting in January 2nd. So, he comes from, a security, background from, AHS, hospital security. So he has some experience in the field. Any other questions you can ask him?
Sure, just a question, like you said, starting on in when?
January 2nd.
So, okay, already started.
Yeah, as a bylaw officer, he goes to, training on March 1st.
Okay, that's what I guess I was trying to get in. How long is the training?
Training is, 12 weeks in Lac-La-Biche.
Welcome to town, Mr. Perry, hockey team.
I don't want to say. It's an original 6, we put it down, it's an original 6.
Oh, God, not Toronto. I can live with that.
All right, well, thank you, and welcome to the team.
Thank you, appreciate that.
All right, so we had, thank you for your report, and I guess we can vote on receiving it for information, all in favor? Okay, carried. Moving on then to, 5.1, confirmation of the minutes. I will say that I did find, some errors, and I had reported them to Bailey already, but consistently, the carried wasn't underneath the motions, so there were some motions, but they didn't show carried. Through, I guess, most of the document, the carried part was missing to say that it was either carried or defeated. And the other thing was under item 14.11, that it should have read that council requests administration to forward the RPAC correspondence to the Joint Professionals Attraction and Retention Committee, as opposed to Action and Reflection Committee. So we made that change there. Other than those, is there any other changes needed? Councilor Wakel? Yeah. Oh, go. Councilor Wakel, then we'll go to you. Councilor Dunn.
Just that under recording secretary, Shannon should have been recorded as being here as well. Shannon was present as well for last meeting.
Okay, thank you for that additional one. And Councilor Dunn.
My name is not see that it's on there. People does it. Look, my name is
Okay, another good catch.
I just caught one.
Oh, and we've got one more here, yeah.
16.4, Mayor Messick, the council receive her report information. Didn't realize you see the position of your wife.
All right. Anything else? Okay, with that, I'll move that the minutes be approved with with those amendments. All in favor? Oh, I missed it. Were you guys okay? Sorry, I was looking here and when I looked back over, you guys had already had your hands down, so. I should look out here first, because there's always a little bit of a delay when we go online, so. All right. Moving on then to business arising. We have, scheduled meetings. I got, a motion on this one, 6.1. Counselor Dunn?
The council, schedule is budget deliberations online. Whatever be 2024, and then council schedule may be decided on 2024.
Okay. All right, so, just before we start tossing around possible dates, perhaps we can I just wanted to see how long we would need for the budget meeting. Is this I know in the description, it talks about being able to do that in an evening, or is that feasible to do one evening for the budget, or?
Maybe through the chair provide a quick update on where we stand. Majority of the items in the operating budget have been dealt with. There are two additional items that are emerging. One's on the agenda tonight dealing with the rural renewal stream. The other one is a request from a cold shot bus operator asking for significant funding from the town. So there's the two additions to deal with the operating budget. Other than that, councils have gone through the operating budget. The capital budget, council hasn't seen that. There's a package available. There's approximately 24 projects, 20 projects to review. Some of them are carried forward projects from previous years, so there's not much discussed in there. But there are some new projects too. So again, typically last year, I believe council spent around 3 hours reviewing the capital projects. And then it's back to council to see what direction council wishes to do on the budget. But that would probably be another meeting later. If everything's get through, then the only other report coming back to council would be formal approval of the operating and capital budgets for the municipality.
Okay, so what I heard from all of that is that it is possible to do the budget meeting in half a day, or in one evening, if we wanted to. That's what I was trying to.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So I guess from an administration's perspective, we're suggesting that we don't do both on the same day, because it will tire everyone out. So whatever one gets first, we get good attention, and attention may be less than optimal in the second part of the meeting.
Okay, so let's start with that budget deliberation meeting. I guess I'm gonna throw out a date of maybe, next Tuesday. We tend to meet on Tuesdays, if that would work, to meet Tuesday evenings.
The 30th?
Which would be the 30th. I don't know, but, and we have to ask administration, because they probably need to have Vern and the other departments there that are presenting their projects, so need to get agreements on all of that. Does that?
I think from the administrator's perspective, we can work around whatever date.
Is there anybody against the 30th? I don't see any. Okay, so we'll meet on January 30th, Tuesday, January 30th at 6 o'clock. Okay, at our usual time. All right. And So the next one is our committee of the whole. And any suggested dates on that one? Does February 3rd work for people? Doing it on the Saturday, or is there another date, or? I don't know.
That Saturday works for me.
Counselor Wakel, I know you work some Saturdays, but are you able to make a Saturday meeting?
All right. I mean, if I'm the only one, then.
Oh, you can't, John can't make it either? Okay. Okay. Would the 10th work for everybody?
Is that one weekend?
No, wrong weekend.
The weekend after.
Everybody's all right with? Might be able to, or you're not sure? You can't make it.
If I'm the only one, then. I mean, this is most of it.
Can we do, I just throw it out, a Sunday, or is that?
God, he's angry.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure.
I'm not for a Sunday. I'm not for a Sunday. It's not me.
Sunday work, or no? No, I have people that don't want to attend on a Sunday, so. Okay, so let's go with, February 10th. And we would meet at 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. Does that work? Okay, okay, I don't hear any others. So we have the motion that would have the special budget deliberation on January 30th at 6 p.m. All in favor? And, okay, and then we'll have, John, you put the motion out there, but you can, are you all right with putting the February 10th at 9 a.m. for the committee of the whole meeting? Okay, all in favor? Carried. Those two are carried. Moving on then to item 6.2, the rural renewal stream. Get a motion on this one? Councilor Stenhouse?
I'd like to make a motion that we table this item for now.
All right, we have a motion on the floor, and I will start off by perhaps asking why you would like to table it.
Because this was just presented to us at our last meeting, and I was expecting someone wanted to come and speak on it. Because there's other options out there, and I did my own survey. I went around to a bunch of businesses and it showed them the pamphlet. And the businesses that I surveyed are not in favor of us joining this. There is many options out there. There is the labor market impact assessment that some businesses have used with good success at $1,000. And they're satisfied with that. Some of the comments that were made when I was talking to these businesses was why they weren't in support of this was to take that money and invest in training or job fairs in our town. The employees that are struggling, they're looking for skilled employees, like ticketed employees. Why we don't hire local, the businesses say that they usually can hire local, and the furthest they've gone is to outside other communities. They have never considered going out of country. So I tried to keep it within what was presented to us, and I talked to some, how do I put it? People who are recruiting in the medical field, and this would not work for them. When we're trying to recruit medical professionals, it's a whole different set of standards and processes. This would be good for like a big business who is trying to recruit, like, let's say 100 people, so they can pull like maybe 10 out of the community when they're looking for large numbers. And these companies who are looking for larger numbers are already using a program like that they are recruiting from out of country. So that's why. And when I went to the companies, at the time I was presenting it at $10,000 to join, and I see in our RFP that it has gone up to $15,000. So I was unable to reconnect with the people I had polled. So I'd like more time to look into the other options that were presented to me, so that we can make. I feel that this is getting going through too fast for us to gather all the information to make an informed decision on this.
Okay, thank you for that. Any other thoughts? Councillor Wakel.
This is the exact program that we were all in favor of. When was this first presented to us? Last spring or summer or whatever. This was already presented to us. This is what we were going to go in with the county with, and then they came back with a budget of, $160,000 for this position. We initially had thought that it would be about a $10,000 or $15,000 joining fee, and that we were okay with that at the time. And then, of course, with the way it was set up with the county, it wasn't going to work that way. It was going to be more. So we bailed on it. And Slave Lake has offered us basically to come back into it for the exact same price that we were initially all in favor of. I mean, this is a good program, and the businesses that were here, and there was many more that couldn't make it, as they had said, they're all in favor. I mean, there's always going to be people who don't want to be part of something. I think the ones that were here made a pretty good case for it. I would be in favor of. We have a motion on the floor already, but I would be in favor of referring this to the budget deliberating process.
Councillor Shishin.
Can I ask the councillor, I guess not maybe which businesses, but what type of businesses you've talked to?
So at this point, the ones that I spoke to, none of them were in the service industry. They all had trades, I believe. No, sorry, I stand corrected. Just 1 second here. I will tell you a comment. So,
while Councillor Stenhouse is looking up something, is she ready to talk?
Are you ready, Councillor Stenhouse? Did you find what you were looking for.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Cheers, and then
so
you-
this one business that's in the service industry that was actually here in the gallery says that, they will not be participating in this program. We already have a other foreign worker program we are happy with, and this isn't needed for our business. They have used the labor market impact assessment, and it seems to work very well for them. Like I said, at $1,000. We already have we have many government programs in here to bring in foreign workers that are working quite well. And Councillor Waco, when we brought this in before, I think we kind of jumped the gun on that too. Did we actually go out and talk to the businesses to see what if this was actually needed? And some of the responses were, in the COVID time, this was really needed, but right now, they are saying they would not use it, they don't support it, and it's not needed.
Councillor Martin, go ahead.
Thank you. I didn't hear all of what council said, but I got some of it. And actually, one of my questions is, I didn't hear her motion, but one of my things was, I would have liked to have seen a more robust, RFD. Like, I want to know, what our business count is, how many supported. I know that three businesses supported. They were in the gallery, and, we mentioned strong, desire to see this supported by town council. Remember, this isn't just about the business community, right? The program would be, but we're using tax dollars, so our citizens matter as well. And just in some of the conversation, it was that there are 5 immigration streams in Alberta. You know, I would like to have seen that mentioned, just a little bit more education for council, more of a better 360-degree view of the 28 businesses. I'm throwing out that number, you know, 10 supported, 18 don't. Again, just making these numbers up, but I would like some time. I began some discussions with businesses. I was actually on the phone today even. There's some mixed, I'd like to know the difference between the LMIA program and rural renewal stream. I know Councillor Waco was really involved, so maybe Councillor Waco can speak to why the LMIA program is not a consideration. I did hear something about skilled labor, and that actually factors into rural renewal. And my other thing is, and I mentioned this last council meeting, is just the optics of Slave Lake taking the charge and leading the effort. Again, I feel like we're riding those coattails or in the shadows. And one of a ratepayer mentioned cost to me, that couldn't we hire consultants? If High Prairie wants to support this, great. Couldn't we hire consultants? Maybe, you know, they had thrown out, that they had done this previously for the temporary foreign worker program, and it was like $2,000 to get someone to just administer this. I mean, it's just time, right? Not at the time I mentioned 10K, now it's 15K. So I'm open to some more time and fact gathering. I'd like to see maybe administration kind of do a tally of the businesses and see 3 supported, how many supported more than those, and how many don't.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, I'll weigh in that, I've talked with many other businesses, and I'm gonna say most of them are supportive. I've only actually talked to one business that wasn't supportive. And, the delegation that came into our last meeting, they had signatures of, it wasn't just the 3 of them that were attending, it was, I'm not sure of the exact number that they brought in, but they had a petition, was how many?
I believe the petition of signed businesses total 13.
13 had signed up for it. And I know I attended the one meeting, when the county talked to the businesses about getting, you know, this program not going through or trying to find other alternatives for it. and listening to those businesses that were at the table, they wanted to see that program too. And again, we don't know exactly which businesses had signed on, but at that meeting, when Councillor Waco was there too, there was at least 4 or 5 businesses there, and they were all in support of it, and they wanted to find a way to make it go ahead. So from all of the exposure that I've had, people want it, and I think, and I'm not an expert in this by any means, but from what I have heard from these businesses and talking with them is that LMI program, yes, they can bring them in, and that's how they have been bringing people in. So it does work. However, what's been happening is that when you come in on that route, you are not fast-tracked to your citizenship. It takes longer to get your citizenship. That's why the immigrants prefer the rural renewal stream over the LMI program. And that's why there's people that are coming in here on the LMI, and then they're transferring into the rural renewal stream. And as the presenter from Slave Lake had brought up, in Slave Lake, a lot of the companies that are using the rural renewal stream are people that brought people in on LMI, and then they're transferring them to the rural renewal stream so that they can keep them and allow them to, become citizens quicker. A couple of those businesses mentioned that the people are leaving from companies, from communities where there's an LMI, and they're wanting to transfer to other companies that have the rural renewal stream so that they can, and if you think of it from their perspective, you're here working, you would want to be as quick, to get your citizenship as possible, and they are leaving. And I've talked to a few companies that have lost employees because they went to communities where they could get into the rural renewal stream and get off the LMI program. So I believe that this is a good deal. I would like to ask why what enhancements that we needed for $5,000 over the $10,000, and I'll ask administration that, but overall, in my perception, I think this is good for many of our businesses, probably, and I know there's one that will not use it. It won't work for them, but I think the majority will. We had the petition 13. I know I've talked to several businesses and they were all in favor of it. So I want to ask our CAO about the extra 5,000 and what the additional money would be used for.
Sure. Through the chair, I'll just refer to the town of Slave Lake's presentation that's in your package. There's numerous parts in that presentation specifically under what Slave Lake will do and what the town responsibility will do. So the town of Slave Lake, for example, will commit to post things on their website. I would suggest to make this program successful, we need content on our own website. Communication to businesses in town in terms of certain aspects that are outlined in their proposal are the responsibility of the town, not the responsibility of the $10,000 envelope. So it's basically seed money to do what council's been asking since I've been here. How can we enhance our knowledge of what's available in town? How can we make the town more attractive? We've attempted to partner with Big Lakes County. Council has approved funding up to $10,000 for that. That program and project is moving along. So in order to enhance the program, if you want to look at it that way, it would mainly be targeting information on our website that would not be collected by the town of Slate Lake related to our community, forms management, peripherals around what the town has to offer. Again, it would have spin-off effects not only for this program, but for all attraction the town may be doing for new businesses, employees, people relocating to the area. So that would be the intent of the enhancement.
Okay, thank you. Oh, go ahead.
I just want to say to you that, this program needs to, in my mind, needs to continuity. Like our community, because we don't have, and because we have our youth and others are, other people that have the skill set that are attractive out to other companies elsewhere. They're leaving. And we need a program that's going to allow the community to grow to, so it's not just me and as a senior citizen living in the territory. There's really new people coming in and new people going in and working, new people investing. That's what I've seen. I know that people want more investigation and stuff like that, but we need to be cognizant of what our community is about and as a council, what we're encouraging our community to do, and that's growth. We want growth. And I think that
Okay, you just broke up right at the very end. But it said, we want growth, and then you cut out. I don't know if there was anything to add.
no, like I said, I just want to share that.
Okay. Counselor Stenhouse?
So this petition you speak of, was it presented at our last meeting or did we have access to it?
He brought it in. I know we put it, did he share that petition with you?
Didn't leave it with us.
Sorry?
He did not leave it
Oh,
with
he
us.
did not. But just to add, I mean, no, that's not even worth mentioning. I was gonna say that the chamber was there, but yeah, we don't really have a chamber, so I can't say that. A representative from the chamber said that they thought this was a good idea, and they'd like to see it in our community too.
And how long ago was that?
That was just when we canceled it out, was it August? I think somewhere around there. I guess. Yeah. All right, I think everybody's had a chance to hear the arguments both for and against, and can make up their minds. So we have a motion on the table to table this for information. All in favor? One, and opposed? Sasha, I'm not sure if I caught your vote because you might have been frozen, but I didn't see your hand. Could you tell me what you voted?
I was in favor of finding out more, just because I want to know who those 13 businesses are, and so that was what I was voting on. I'm not sure what the motion is, but I was in favor of,
Okay,
spending time.
that was, okay, so you were in favor of the motion. Okay, so the motion is defeated. Anybody like to make another motion? Councillor Waco?
Um,
Oh,
If I could, and maybe you can provide a bit of understanding on the options that are in the report. So the first option is council prior approved. So really what that means is it would be adopted and would be built into next year's budget. That would allow the program to commence within a very short period of time. The second,
like this year's budget, in the 2024 budget.
in the 20, so prior approval, that's sort of a quasi legal term that means you're adopting this before you've approved the budget, which is perfectly allowable. So that would allow administration to contact Slave Lake tomorrow and say, let's get it rolling. The next option is to refer to the budget deliberations. Again, it can be referred to the budget deliberations, but until the budget's formally adopted by council, I can't tell Slave Lake that we're in or out. So that may be, depending on the budget deliberation progression, that may be not till late February, early March. So that's really the differential between those two options.
Then I'll go with option one. Council prior approved 15,000 for the road renewal program within the 2024 operating budget.
Councillor Stenos?
I'd like a recorded vote on this one.
Okay. Councillor Martins?
So, since we're rushing into this, and I find it odd that we have 50% of what the total cost that Slave Lake is looking to administer this entire thing on our behalf, we need 50% of that amount. That's comment number one. Comment number two is there any consideration to us being able to do this as opposed to, sort of piggybacking onto Slave Lake taking the lead? I mean, can we look at that? Can we get, even the administration feels like they don't have time, can we get a consultant part-time to kind of do this at a better rate? Those are some of the comments that I heard, and I'd like to also make this decision knowing who these 13 businesses are that supported. It's nice to throw out those numbers, but we're making a hasty decision with no accurate facts. Because some of the delegations that sat in that council gallery last council meeting were there for information. They weren't told that they were there because they were supporting it. They were told that they were there, hey, we're presenting this, come and listen. I know these two that were there, not in support, though it looked like it. They were there for information. So I'd like to know who these 13 are that are in favor of doing this. And we're moving ahead with something, and certainly that's council's prerogative, but I'd like better and accurate information in order to make a good decision or a sound decision with tax dollars.
Okay.
Which is why I voted in favor to table it, because this is the first time we've had a delegation come in and right away we've got it on the agenda, and that's never happened. We've had delegation after delegation come in and we've really not acted so swiftly. What is wrong with, we're meeting on, a few days of waiting? I don't see how that's going to alter things. I'm not in favor of the renewal stream. I would just like a little bit more time to be accurate. I think all of us should have that kind of due diligence. I mean, I know, Mayor, you said you've talked to businesses. Is it the same 13? Is it different 13? I'd just like to know that.
Councillor Waco and CEO.
As far as us doing this on our own without Slave Lake, no, we can't. And that's part of the reason why we were partnering with Big Lakes County, was because there is, there's a position that needs to exist within the organization that would be administration or running this. We don't have that. Big Lakes County had it, Town of Slave Lake has it, we don't. So that's why we're piggybacking off somebody else. They're carrying the the administration of our portion of it. So that's why we're paying back. The administration is massively if I'm wrong.
Okay, thank you.
I'd just like to offer a couple comments. I was directed at the last meeting to report at this meeting on this program, so that's why the RFP is at this meeting. Council directed me to provide the report for this council meeting, and that was a commitment made to the delegations as well. In terms of background information, I believe there's been 3 extensive reports provided to council over the last 18 months on this issue. So I'll leave it at that. As council directly provide additional information, I'll be pleased to do that.
Okay, I guess, yeah, my comments on the, is there somebody else out there that can do it? From what I got with the discussions, I didn't hear of that coming up as an option. I kind of like having somebody that is, let's go, independent when they're doing the background checks for the people that are applying to come in. Because that's really what they have to do, is do a lot of background checks and make sure this is going to work. Yeah, maybe there's somebody out there, but we haven't heard of it up until this point. And from the discussions that I've had, I haven't heard of it. So, we could wait and wait, but I don't know when we'll get them. To run around and get the list from every business in town. So it's a long process for $10,000 or for 15,000. And what I heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, is that the extra 5,000 is a little bit of legwork, but primarily is going to be used to have somebody updating the website so it's a little more updated, which is not just tied to the rural renewal stream, but also tied to other aspects of the website. That's what I thought I heard you say.
That, I think, sums it up nicely. And again, I'd just make one last point. Hiring an external contractor to do this means someone has to manage it. That someone will likely be me that has to manage it. That will create significant additional workload for myself. So the town of Slave Lake, as they said in their presentation, has a solid track record dealing with the business community. They've attracted upwards to, I can refer to the actual presentation, but dozens and dozens of proposals have been submitted with dozens of businesses being assisted through the program. So as I outlined in my RFP, I think your proposal is modest cost, provides great value. We're not reconnecting and resubmitting the wheel. They have all the templates, all the protocols in place for the program. So from my perspective, even though there was no administrative recommendation in the report, it is a good value for your tax dollars.
I just want to add one last thing as I'm thinking about it is our commitment, and I just want to verify this, but our commitment is on an annual basis, on a year-by-year basis. So this could be a trial basis, see if it works, see if the companies are using it, see if we get people in our community. If after a year it's not working and we have a lot of issues with it, we do not have to continue, right? Like that's one of the nice things about an annual commitment is we can decide each year whether we want to go ahead or not. And if it's working, if it's not working, we can cut it off. If companies aren't taking advantage of it, we can stop. Okay, anything else before we vote on this? Any last comments? Councillor Yashishin?
I was just gonna add that, yeah, I mean, it takes a lot to run that program. As we You know, they don't just, the people just don't come to the community. They conduct the interviews with the candidates, you know, they come to the community, and make sure they're receiving the supports they need. So there's, as, CEO mentioned, there's numerous, things there that, that really, for that money, we get far more for it than what it is there. And I really don't think we'll miss an opportunity here that we've got right before us.
Okay. So with that, we've had a request for a recorded vote. And the motion was to approve the 15,000 for the rural renewal program in the 2024 budget. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, did you guys catch the for and against? Okay, thank you for that. All right, that was carried. Moving on to item 6.3, the addition school division letter. Councillor Stenhouse.
So we received this letter for
Okay,
information.
let's start with the motion.
I would like to make a motion that council sends a letter to High Prairie School Division stating that we received and reviewed their invitation, but unfortunately we are unable to attend.
Okay,
And that was the purpose, to bring this up, to ensure that they know that we did receive it. And we did look into it, but there was no one on council either available to attend or we would not be attending.
okay. So perhaps I'll ask, I suspect that administration would have notified the school division of our decision, and maybe I'll just check that one.
Letter has not gone out today, the letter would have gone out because last year they followed up with us and we haven't had a response, so the letter will be going out.
Okay. So your motion is for a letter that we would, and we're hearing we can go through on the motion, just so it's on the record, if you would like. I think we do want to notify them, that's a given.
The purpose of this is to let them know that we did receive it and we did look at it, but we're unable to attend.
Yeah. Okay, is there any other discussion on that? Seeing none, all in favor? Okay, it's carried. Moving on to new business, item 8.1. A motion on this one? Councilor Dunn? Okay. Yeah. You did pick up on that. Okay, so other comments on this one, Councilor Waco?
How much did, I know we did this last year, how much did we know off the top of our head, how much did it? Or was it?
It was for $750.
Oh, okay. Well, let's do that. event sponsoring them.
Okay, any other thoughts on this? Did you hear that, John? He was recommending the same as last year, which was $750. Any other discussions on this one?
Who set this aside?
All right, I don't see any, Councillor Martin says.
I see the 750 and I see passes. I mean, is that for advertising, like are we gonna buy a banner or shoot some signage? Or is it for passes? What are we spending 750 on? Which one is council select?
It was the event sponsor package.
He's asking about passes.
In there, it says $750, you get.
Is that the one with the passes? Because they all have passes.
Yeah. So you get 6 rodeo passes, you get your banner hung in proximity to the shoots. Party approach contribution goes to the payout to the cowboys and cowgirls. And your name will be announced at the time of the sponsored event and headline for that event in our rodeo program. So that's what Councilor Waco was suggesting. Now, question, what did we do with the passes last year? I can't remember what we did, because I know we didn't use them. Can't remember who we gave them to. We would have given them to somebody. Didn't we give them to town employees? I honestly
I believe that was correct. So both the passes for the bigger rodeo and this smaller rodeo were raffled off, so to speak, to the staff.
I have a comment.
Go ahead.
So I don't think we find a home outside of the town for these passes, or we do not accept these passes. Because I have issues with the note below that says the sponsorship opportunities will have access to the sponsorship lounge and private bar, complimentary snacks and music. Now, I don't believe that taxpayers' dollars should be buying alcohol. Now, is this alcohol included in these passes?
I haven't been there, but I suspect not. I would be very surprised if it was. So don't know. I can speak at the because I've been to the main rodeo event, and they have a similar thing with the sponsorship lounge, and it is a cash bar for that. But again, I don't know.
Yeah, this is the first, it states in here, this is the first year they've added a lounge to it.
I think cash bar as well, because $750 is not, well, I mean, cowboys are good at drinking, I've seen them do it. That's not gonna get you much up there, they lose their shirt, so I would suspect again that it's a private cash bar.
As long as there is not even one free drink ticket involved.
Yes, I just make, for the chair, a comment that this is quite normal. These same issues happen at numerous conventions that council members attend. In addition, staff are required to take the day off. This is not on town time.
All right. Any other discussions on this one? No. All right, so in the same manner of what we did last year, we could say, okay, and we would go around the table and say, who would support to see, the 750? And based on the number of people that would, agree, then we could figure out what sort of a sponsorship per person would be. So.
Just raise my hand in favor.
Okay, so who would be in favor of this and using a portion of your money for it? So we've got, okay, so everyone, so we've got 5 that are in favor of it, and the 2 that are not are Councillor Martins and Councillor Stenhouse. And so 5 and 750, what's the number, Donna? It would be, that's what I was just gonna say. $150 per. So, John, if I can, I'm just going to, you made the motion, but you left the information out just to get us started. But what you're, if I'm hearing right, that you would say that allocate $750 to the rodeo, and that the 5 people each contribute $150 each to make the 750. Yeah, I see a nod. Okay. All right, all in favor? Opposed? It is carried. Moving on then to item 8.2, transition from MSI to LGFF. Get a motion on this one. Councillor Stenhouse.
This report we received for information.
All right. Okay, any questions, comments on this? Go ahead, Councillor Weaver.
I don't know if this is the right point to bring this up, but I saw a news article online that the provincial government is saying that municipalities have to disclose how much money they get from the federal government. Is that just something they want or something they've implemented, or is this the wrong place to bring that up?
It's a quickie I can deal with here. Yes, the province has requested all municipalities provide a list of any agreements they have with the federal government. So they were using the term agreement, not necessarily funding relationship. Usually the agreements have a funding relationship attached to them. So that's been required to be submitted to the province at administrative level by the end of January.
Oh, so when did they make that? Like, did they just make that decision and drop that bomb on us? Like,
I believe it was mid-December that the letter went out from the council to all the CAOs in the province.
I'm not gonna say anything else, it'll be a bad word.
I'd like to add that Alberta municipalities had a workshop on LGFF last week. And as part of that workshop, they were, and actually they sent out an email on that saying that they would really like all of councils, all of the municipalities to argue for a larger pool. And, sort of a higher base funding amount. They are, I'll say, and there was some issues around which roads could count and, what was the other one that they were, but anyways, there was one other issue that they were at, but their biggest ask to the municipalities was to lobby the government for a higher base amount every opportunity you get, and say, look, the pot is less than it's been, 10 years ago. The pot is lower than it was before. So that was their biggest ask, is they were, I'm gonna say, overall okay with the LGFF framework, the method of dispositions. There's obviously a few concerns in there. But it's, the biggest hurdle is the fact that the amount is not as high as it should be to start. I mean, the good news is that, yeah, it's going to go up next year because it's tied to, the revenues for the province, so that's really good. But, and it is predictable, you know what you're gonna get, because it's based on, prior years, from 3 prior years average. So that's a good thing. So we've got, we'll know what the funding is. It's not necessarily overly stable because it is tied to the provincial revenues, but right now that's a good thing. Provincial revenues have been going up, so that, in the foreseeable future, that should be increases in this. If they start to go down, it won't be quite as nice, but those are the commitments that you make, right? You have to take the good and the bad, I guess.
We do lobby a lot for the MSI. At any convention I went to, that's the hot topic.
And they are going to continue to lobby to increase that pot. That was one of the things that came out of the last Dublin Municipalities Convention, they said, so. Okay, anything else on, this one? Okay, we had a motion to receive for information, all in favor? Carried. Oh, we have a request for a break. We can do that now, or we can. Sure.
Or do you want to?
I could use a break.